Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. My name is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. Today's topic is Hollerbach's Oktoberfest, and we have with us today Christina Hollerbach, the CEO of Hollerbach's German Restaurant, and Jennifer Brooks, our Director of Special Events. Welcome.
Hello.
Yay! It is not October, but there is a reason why, and it's still going on this weekend. And we have some really wonderful details to share with you today, folks. So, Jennifer, do you want to start, or do you want to introduce Christina? Say some things from on the city side, or you know what? Christina could take over. Christina, we could just step away and let Christina talk about Hollerbach.
I love talking about myself. It's great.
I'll talk about how wonderful your staff is. You've got a great team. They make the city look good. They make downtown look good. We get phone calls from all over the state looking for hotel rooms. I'm sure all the Airbnbs are rented. So I can't tell you how much we're looking forward to this. I wish we could have changed the whole Hurricane Ian thing, but your wonderful staff just turned it on a dime, came up with a new date, and we're moving forward. So bring the party on.
Yeah. And I know, the change of date, it was a very stressful decision, but I am so proud of my staff, too. They're just, It's always what do we have to do to fix this? What do we got to do? And all my vendors were really, really great, too. I think we only lost one entertainer that was otherwise booked, but it's been a successful move. And I'm glad that the, city buildings didn't get a lot of water intrusion. Yeah. It was mostly just the roads. And so we were able to I hate using the word pivot because it's been the word of the century.
Yes,
but just making sure that we can make adjustments and make it happen. And now all we're waiting to see if the guests know that those date changes are there. But I'm hopeful that it's going to be a really fun weekend.
Yeah, and Christina, because originally and for many, many years before your event was in Magnolia Square based, and then in the downtown historic district area, commercial district, and it's changed. And so for those listening who may not have realized that, that's the impact that the storm had, because it was along the waterfront that we had some flooding. And so and it was at the Civic Center previous years.
Last year was the first year we did the Civic Center, and obviously being close to the restaurant was a priority when we initially had the festival, but it really outgrew that space very quickly. And it is a 3-day festival, which is a little unusual in Sanford. We don't have many multi-day street closure events. And the impact that it creates for our other business partners, especially the Ritz Theater, was a little too high. So we contemplated different ways to go. And the Civic Center, I thought, was perfect because we kind of have this beautiful waterfront that is a little underutilized. So being able to kind of make that the backdrop of this event. And in Germany, obviously, Munich is the place to go for Oktoberfest, but there's, they celebrate that all over in small towns. And one of the best compliments I got last year, that it reminded them of a German Oktoberfest in a smaller village. They kind of take their town hall and deck it out and have a huge party. So that was a really nice compliment, and it's the first time I'd really seen the Civic Center used in that kind of way with
the decorations. You guys, you really did transform that building. It was phenomenal.
He's
what
actually in there
vision.
Right now doing, because it takes
what
a whole day to
vision.
set up.
Yeah, to see this blank canvas and to turn it in, that's real vision. So, and you're right, it was phenomenal.
Our city manager kind of, I would say, has kind of a poker face, and it was one of the first times I've seen him really react to something. He walked into the building and was just like, "Whoa, what what is going on in here?" So that was pretty cool. That a building that you see all the time still made somebody go, "Wow!" So that's really exciting.
Yeah, so tell us some details about what's happening this weekend.
So we made a lot of changes even from last year, and I think that's another fun thing about my staff. Even if we're having a successful event and we're enjoying ourselves, we still all got lists on our phones of oh, this isn't working, we should try this next time, and we have this air of we can always be better. And we took lots of notes from last year, especially because it was the first time we were in this space, and we had Hollerbuck system last year where you buy the bucks and then use those throughout the festival, so we don't have to have cash stations and hold up lines even
You've
further.
Done that for a long time, yeah.
And that was effective, but however, we had way more people than we anticipated last year, and there was a big line congestion with buying the tickets in the first place. So, we've been contemplating, how do we fix that? And of course, we live in Florida, so we're one of the, entertainment and tourism destinations of the world. So we can, emulate things that Disney does, that Universal does. and we went with festbands this year. So they're NFC readers, near field some things. I forget what the C stands for. So they work without Wi-Fi to connect and tap. So you would tap your phone, load up on your phone, and then use the band throughout the festival to tap and go. So it's eliminating the I want to buy tickets line. And there's still ways to load it up with cash if people don't feel comfortable using their phones and don't want to do that. There'll still be separate lines for that, but we're hoping that the majority of people will be tech savvy enough to tap and load and tap and pay. So it'll eliminate some lines and be an interesting experience for people. The guy who's doing it too, it's called Riskcoin, and we're he's based in Canada, but he's like coming down to the festival too, and he's been really interactive with working with us on the back end of it too. So we're super excited to try out this new system. And I think it's going to work really well. And we did get some cool things for the Civic Center because we either had to buy a temporary network infrastructure to run the system or permanently upgrade the Civic Center. So
Thank you very much.
We actually permanently upgraded the Civic Center. So we
that's huge.
Yes,
now have,
it is huge.
Really, it's a huge Wi-Fi radius now around there, and a really, really awesome system. So when other people run the Civic Center, they can choose to have that upgrade. And then anyone else who's using it will be able to have some nice Wi-Fi. So.
Wow, thank you to Hollerbach's German Restaurant. My goodness, that is an incredible new perk there.
My marketing director already made a sign that says, Wi-Fi compliments of Hollerbach's, but the Wi-Fi symbol's made out of sausages. I'm so excited.
So tell me, so it's all about food and drink, right?
Yeah.
And so an abundance of that. And is there any things that you could share, like what kind of things you're going to have for people to offer?
Sure.
To
and
participate
we always
in?
say that, we serve Gemütlichkeit, so it's that sense of fun and the feeling you get with friends and family, but it starts over good food and drink. And all the beer we have is imported from Germany. We have to talk and meet with our brewers, a year in advance, basically, to make sure that we have enough, that we can transport it here, that we can store it. So just the logistics behind getting the beer order, which is close to 350-liter kegs, is quite a task. But the food is awesome as well. And Patrick brought back potato pancakes out for our street food. We're doing a whole new kitchen system with a giant line. So you've got the currywurst, our bratwurst, the sauerkraut, our potato pancakes, our pretzels with the Obatza cheese spread. And our pastry department, too, is making candied apples and cotton candy. So we're doing a lot of really fun things this year, and I'm super excited to see how everybody responds.
And not to mention your awesome deli in downtown Sanford. So, I mean, that's always here as well. And there's all those things that you're talking about, you can hop in and order things. The desserts are incredible.
Well, and even right now I'm wearing my gummy bear glasses because we have a very large Haribo selection, and I'm a huge fan of Haribo. We've got so many. I like the sour ones on the outside, but they're still sweet.
Yeah, just a plug for your market. It's just wonderful. But so this is. It sounds like.
I love the lodge.
Yeah. Oh, that's the whole thing. And
yes.
It's an experience coming to this event. It's so prepare for that. You are transported practically to Germany when you participate in Oktoberfest. How many years now, Christina, have you been doing it?
We used to participate as sponsors for Alive After 5, so if you count that, it's almost been probably 10 to 15 years. But doing it on our own has been about 6 or 7.
Yeah, and so where can you get those bracelets? Are you going to it? So when you go online, I guess, can you explain that process?
Sure. And anyone can visit hollerbachs.com/Oktoberfest and get all the facts they need, and you can pre-order your bands online. You can also pick them up and purchase them inside Outfitters, while you also get your German Trachtenwehr, your Dirndls and Lederhosen. And those are happening now, but during the festival, Monroe Hall, which is the building right at the corner of Sanford and First Street, will be kind of like our main hub to purchasing the initial band. And the band is $5, but it's the charity aspect of it, so it'll cover the cost of the band, but the leftovers from that are going to Hollerbach's Has Heart Foundation, which is the recipient of our Oktoberfest. and all of those monies go back into the community. We sponsor a lot of other local charities, as well as offer education and emergency grants for our staff. We actually just issued some for some people who had some major damage from Hurricane Ian.
Wonderful.
So it's definitely
Yeah.
hitting all the points for me there, and it's going to be really easy, I think, for people to load up. And there's educational videos on the internet about it, and signage. So we're hoping that it can be a easy transition for everybody.
So November 4th through the 6th. What time do you open? What can you get there?
Yeah, the Friday is 5 to 10, and Saturday is 12 to 10, and Sunday is 12 to 6. And on Sunday, actually, all Hollerbach businesses close at 6 p.m. because my entire staff of 160 people have basically been working 15 hours a day for 3 days. So we close everything down at 6 o'clock, shut down the Civic Center, shut down all the businesses, and we're actually having a party at Wild Wild West End, and Pablo's making us a taco bar. So we can kind of celebrate with everybody. And even though, like, I love the guest reaction to Oktoberfest, and we do it for that camaraderie, for that marketing value and everything. I love the camaraderie from our staff, because it's like a badge of honor, like, we survived Oktoberfest. And the feeling you get creating something that attracts 20,000 people is just really cool.
Yeah.
And it's not something everybody has a chance to be a part of.
Right.
So that kind of the release that we need
Right.
at the end of that weekend is important.
Yeah, and the
too.
appreciation your employees must feel from you, so the owner, to say thank you like that. It goes a long way.
And not to mention our volunteers too. We have 96 volunteer shifts over 5-hour
right.
shifts to make that happen. So in addition to my staff, and I did see like a comment on Facebook when we asked for volunteers, like, you don't pay your staff enough, and I was like, I do too. I just need more people.
Yeah.
It's like it takes so much to make these events happen.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, whenever you say Sanford, people first thing they say is Hollerbach's. Have you been to the German restaurant? I know. I mean, that's just, it's like we go hand in hand, the city of Sanford and the German restaurant. I got to ask you a question about Oktoberfest. Do you know a little bit about the holiday itself, or why they celebrate like they do? What does it mean?
Sure. So it's actually celebrated in September in Germany, and it was initially the celebration of King Ludwig's wedding. And so it was one of those things like, hey, let's throw a big party for this really awesome wedding. And then everybody's like, well, why don't we just celebrate this all the time? The anniversary of this marriage, and just, the people loved it, and kind of the start of their, harvest and fall season. So it was initially a celebration of a wedding that just kind of carried on and became a huge tourist attraction. Of course, now they start Oktoberfest in September still, but they'll run it through almost till November, because they have Kris Kringelmarkt season too for their November-December season. And I know that they had 2 years that they missed with COVID as well. So it was, I think this was the first year back for them coming out of the pandemic. So it was a very popular destination, and people were excited to have that back.
And that in Germany, that you said that was in Munich is where it starts?
Yeah, and like they have it everywhere, but initially in Munich.
In Munich.
And the infrastructure and logistics for the tents that they set up is absolutely crazy. And the technology they've had too about filling up beer from special cups through the bottom, and how you carry them. Like, there's a lot of cool videos out there about all the things that go behind creating these pop-up festivals that last for months.
Yeah. Well, that's
Well, one thing I especially like is obviously Sanford's known for street parties, but yours is still very family friendly. You have a nice kids zone, and it's a way to give your whole family, children included, an introduction to other cultures, and the way your staff is dressed and interact, and the music, and it's truly a cultural experience that all ages can enjoy.
So we were just celebrating with some 2 local residents, and his birthday happens to be in October, so he always has an Oktoberfest themed party. And I was talking to all the kids, and they all have dirndls and lederhosen, and a lot of them will pass them down when their kids grow out of them, and then it turns into somebody else's outfit. But one of their daughter got a new dirndl for I think it was a birthday gift, and she's like, oh, a new German dress. And I'm just thinking about all these kids growing up in Sanford that just think this is just like normal, but it is like a cultural experience that is kind of special from here. So I can't wait till they're like older, like talking to other kids like, oh, your town didn't have a giant German party, and you don't have your own set of dirndls and lederhosen in your closet, So it is introducing something special to people, and we can't do that without our partners too. Ladies 327 runs our kids zones and our vendors, so it's another way the event is giving back to the community already, because we don't take any of those vendor fees. It all goes to them so that they can raise money and do other things, and also takes the load and stress off of running giant events like this when you have great partners that you trust that can handle those things. So and we use them for everything.
Yes, they're great, so
Sure.
easy to
Yeah.
work with.
A huge
And all those
economic impact for the
vendors
city.
are micro businesses in
Yeah.
Sanford, so it's really important to support them.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Really true. So that's this weekend. It's happening. It's
Well,
right
we
around
have
the
we have
corner.
a couple other things happening this weekend. We have Golden Age Games, which are our senior games, so that's bringing in a lot of people from outside. We've gotten a couple phone calls like, how do we get in? Because Hollerbach has 2nd Street and your downtown is flooded. I'm like, no. First Street's wide open. Hollerbach's is down at the Civic Center. You can easily get through town this weekend for Golden Age Games and still enjoy Oktoberfest.
And also, if you're in Seminole County, you can do early voting. We have a polling station at the library right across from where the festival's at. So definitely take that time to check out your candidates and go down and vote. We have like less than 20% voter turnout, so I'd like to see our county represent and get that number a little higher.
Absolutely. We can do better than that in Seminole County.
All right.
Yes. So.
Well, any last words?
Well, I
Christina,
wanted to touch
Jennifer?
base. I'll come back next week and go over the November events. But we have so many events through the rest of the year. It's certainly holiday season in the city of Sanford. We were just chatting off air about every weekend there's an event. So we look forward to seeing you and yours down here. This Friday, November 11th, we will be having our Veterans Day ceremony. Unfortunately, Veterans Memorial Park received severe damage with the flooding, but we are proceeding. We're putting a stage in the middle of Park Avenue, backing up to the roundabout, and putting up a tent for our guests, and we are proceeding to honor our veterans.
Excellent.
So we've got one heck of a great week.
Yeah, we do. And it's like, we can't, I'm staring at a list in front of, for folks that are listening. There's a slew of events happening.
Yes.
In Sanford, and the city knows how to do an event, and of course we have these wonderful partners here that provide such great fun and building memories and happiness with yourself and your community and family. So come down to Sanford this weekend. Christina, any last?
And during Oktoberfest, you can also visit the Audi booth because they'll be displaying their winning trophy for Sofa and Suds, which is November 20th as well. And I have to say, obviously Oktoberfest is my favorite. Sofa and Suds is my favorite event to go to. We literally find couches on the side of a road and soup them up and race them down the street. And Hollerbach is also the crowd favorite champion 3 years running. Audi has been the race champion for quite a while. But another great event to go to. It's free to attend unless you want to buy the VIP tickets and hang out in the pit with all the couch racers.
Yeah.
But definitely something, again, weird and unique. It's something fun for everybody, and it's definitely a good day. So I look forward
couch
to it.
racing. Where can you beat that?
Right?
Except with the golf cart
Yeah.
racing.
Carts and
That's in the
kegs.
spring. Yes.
That was interesting.
Yes.
Yes,
It's
but
challenge.
these two women have been eating their Wheaties, right? Both of you are going to be nonstop preparing for this. Jennifer, you're always on site when these events happen in the city. Thanks for all that you do. And Christina, I mean, you're a wonderful volunteer.
It's our downtown businesses. Our downtown businesses just are so creative, and it's side note, and I'm going to share it with the public. I was sharing emails with the city of Eustis, Oakland, Tavares today, and they were talking about these small pop-up tents, and they'll give them some barricades, and they try to participate, and they don't charge them, and there's no permit fees, but they're just so happy to have them. And I'm like, they are so desperate to create something that Sanford has, and the reason we can do it is because our business owners are just yes people to the city, to the public, to those other nonprofits. We just say yes. We make it happen.
Yeah, and I think
I'm so grateful to Hollerbach's, West End, Henry's Depot. There's so many. Jim Fardy's doing a whole bunch with really micro businesses. There's just literally across the board.
Yeah, I think it's
great
the support, city, community, city that we see amongst the businesses that I think is really key
PPPs,
to
public-private partnership.
right. Yeah, to the
Absolutely.
success here. So, We're
Our
trying to
Public Works
say.
Department and the Parks Department have transformed downtown following all that flooding. They are
Yeah, the hard
just
workers.
working
Well,
themselves.
and I was saying to the Parks and Rec and the Civic Center, like, the whole city is what they're responsible for post-hurricane, and I'm over here going, Oktoberfest, Civic Center, and they're still able to answer me and help, and it's like, I know I'm not the only thing you guys got going on, but I feel like sometimes they still treat me that way, and I love how responsive they've been, too, about making this work, and
Yeah, they're
it really
fantastic.
is special.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Christina. Christina Hollerbach, live and in person on the Sanford Says
Amazing.
the
podcast.
busiest person.
Yeah,
on
and
the planet.
thank you for taking time out of your
worries.
busy day. And Jennifer Brooks, clawing your way away from the computer to come upstairs, so you can share information about our special events. But thanks, ladies. And what we're trying to say to our listeners is, come on to Sanford this weekend. Get down here. You will have a fantastic time. And not only this weekend, but every weekend. Let's check our website out, sanfordfl.gov/events. Go to Christina, the website again for your.
Hollerbox.com/Oktoberfest.
There you go. Thank you for listening.
Get those bands. Get them preloaded.
Yep. This is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. You're listening to Sanford Says. You can subscribe to this podcast wherever you find your favorite podcast and on the city website at sanfordfl.gov. Thanks for listening. Until next time, come on down to Sanford. Bye.